Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Hilaal Live. Thanks for watching us on channel 347, and you can also live stream on www.hilal.tv. Our community over the COVID period went through so much, and one organization identified the need and the urgency of some of our masajids in various communities. So before I introduce this wonderful organization, have a look at this video.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.
So I trust that gives you a better idea and understanding about the organization that we're highlighting today as well. In studio, I'd like to introduce Faghrie Cornelius and Sister Gadija Cornelius as part of Masjied Love. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah so much for coming into studio and affording me your time. We've chatted over the very months about some of the great work that you've done. But for some of our viewers that don't know too much about Masjied Love, give us a bit of history on how this project came together.
Shukran, Luqman. Shukran for the opportunity. Yes, so 3 years ago, and as you highlighted, during your introduction, in the middle of COVID, in the middle of hard lockdown, we felt the need to just roll out a project which has been a long time coming. And we've been discussing it for many years before that, actually. But, the urgency of COVID, and I'm sure you'll remember the WhatsApp messages that circulated at the time. Then it's a message about this masjid in a particular area, unable to pay the electricity. The other one's electricity is already off. Another one is unable to pay their imam for the period. And it was just, that was the order of the day during lockdown. And then we decided, okay, we're in the middle of this thing. We have to start it right now.
Correct.
So Gadija here, who was the, basically the founding member, she got a group of us together, family and friends, and said, I'm just going to throw you guys in the deep end. We're going to launch this organization. We decided on the name. That was quite a process. And 3 years down the line, alhamdulillah, we've achieved, I think, quite a bit. But our core objectives, was to provide or to be able to create this fund, or one fund where each and every, Muslim contributes to, and then use that fund to look after the masajid. Okay. And initially we thought, okay, if the fund is established, we'll be able to take care of all the needs of the masjid, for example, not just, the salaries, but also maintenance, etc. but we needed to start small.
Right.
We needed to start somewhere. And we've agreed that we're going to focus on the fixed monthly running costs per masjid. And that is obviously your salaries for the imam, for example, your caretaker, and also the municipal account, water and electricity.
Right.
So that is the core function of Masjid Love.
Brilliant.
And alhamdulillah, firstly, we need to thank Allah for having granted us the hidayah, the guidance, and the tawfiq to have come this far. I can't quite believe that it's been 3 years, since we launched ourselves, on community radio stations and on national TV at the time. And that is when the brand was born. And we could never have imagined that, 3 years down the line, we would have been able to disperse a staggering 9 million to about 103 masjids across the Western Cape, alhamdulillah. So, just to set the scene. And obviously, we started at the bottom where the need was the greatest. So we looked at, areas like Delft. We looked at Tafelsig in Mitchell's Plain. We went into Khayelitsha, Harare, Niue Khayelitsha. We went into Lower Philippi, Langa. That is where the need is.
Brilliant.
And that is where we started, adopting, masjids onto the program. And you'll be surprised, if you learned at what the conditions really were like, at the time. We came across one imam who at the time was earning 750 rand a month in COVID. Can you believe it? And these are people who have families to feed, etc. So the need was great. But alhamdulillah, considering the challenges that came along with it, a lot of effort went into the project. With more than 100 masajids, on the books at the moment. We need to thank our donors as well. After we thank Allah, we need to thank our donors for having so generously contributed to this fund. And I must add, for continuing to contribute, to this fund so generously, because most of our donors are recurring sort of contributors, okay?
Yeah.
So they take out debit orders, or they set up, recurring EFT payments, on their banking profiles, etc. And then, of course, Masjid Love collaborates, with various other stakeholders in tackling certain projects. For example, there's an organization called Masjid Repairs, who also partnered with us. And this organization, their passion is to do maintenance and refurbishment of certain masajid, okay? So, and then they would partner with us so that they can tap into our donors. And alhamdulillah, what a beautiful partnership. And then from time to time, we would extend that partnership to other organizations, like, for example, COP, or Community Outreach Projects. Their specialization is, delivering food parcels or making up of food parcels. And then they would make some of these food parcels available to caretakers of, serving the masajid that we have adopted, alhamdulillah. So every now and then we get sidetracked, but I think there's nothing wrong with a good sidetrack that's got a good result, in the end.
Before you continue, Brother Faghrie, I just want to bring in Sister Gadija here very quickly as well. The magnitude, to the extent that this organization had to come up, give our viewers a brief understanding what the challenges were at the various masjids.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So what we did find is that even while we were busy preparing, electricity was being cut off at masjids.
Wow.
So the adhan wasn't going off.
Right.
And I think that also made us want to push for this project to launch. So that, I think, was the big challenge. We used to get calls where donors, because of COVID, the small businesses that fund the masjids, they were also struggling during COVID because businesses were closed down. So what happened is they couldn't support the masjids any longer. Our ulama weren't being paid. And then, so what happened is they would contact us because they've heard about Masjid Love, and they're saying, is there anything you can give to our ulama? Our donor just pulled out, which we had to understand. Everybody was struggling at the time.
Absolutely.
And that is why we went all out. The other challenge is also to work with committees out there. The committees, shame, they do so much work, but it's not like that is their job. You know what I mean? Like the finances, to look after finances and that. So there was a lot of challenges. And it was a whole variety of challenges.
But also during that time as well, although the masjids were not visited by our community, when it did open up as well, things like madrasas had to be seen to, you know, and that's a safe haven for children to come there, whether it's a plate of food, whether it is completing their homework, doing their madrasa, and even non-Muslim children would come to these centers as well.
Absolutely.
I would imagine that's what you had to take into consideration once, you know, COVID restrictions started lifting.
So basically, we have been requested to assist with madrasa fees and that type of thing. But unfortunately, because the need was so great for water, electricity, and salaries for our caretaker and ulama, we couldn't really assist with anything else because there is such a need. Alhamdulillah, we have about 52 ulama we're assisting monthly. And if you think about the numbers, like the one ulama was earning 1,500, and alhamdulillah, we're able to increase his salary with 4,000 a month, which means he ends up earning 5,500. And that type of thing makes such a big impact in the life of an imam, because they all have family. And what we found, one of the challenges was also ulama were looking for second jobs just to earn an income. So they were struggling already in the masjid to with all their functions. Then they still had to go and get another income and to look after their family. So
how far does the project stretch in the Western Cape? What is the furthest point?
So we said initially it was only going to be Cape Town, but if someone comes with a request, then and we are able to assist, we couldn't turn them down. So initially we got up onto Plettenberg Bay. There's a Salahana, and they approached us through Sanzif, because Sanzif initially assisted them, and the ulama needed, because there was shame, like the shopkeepers were putting money together to pay for the imam. So we've gone right up to Plettenberg Bay, alhamdulillah.
Okay, we're going to chat a bit more just now as well. Jazakallah so much for tuning in to Hilaal Live. After the break, we continue with our discussion with Masjied Love, but also very exciting and important announcement that they've come into studio to share as well. Thanks for watching us on Channel 347. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Hilaal Live. Thanks for watching us on Channel 347 all the way from the Cape Town studios. I'll be keeping you company until about 6:20, and then the Johannesburg team then takes over. So we're in studio. We have a wonderful organization that's doing amazing work in and around our beautiful city of Cape Town and province, Western Province as well. And so we have another video that we'd like to play you just to give you an idea of some of the great work that they are doing.
A calamity hit, forcing us to think as we froze. Community struggles magnified as masjid doors closed.
Now Jumu'ah collections to pay water, salaries and electricity.
Over 100 masajids are in need of your generosity.
Imagine our ummah united as one.
To build a single contribution base. Think of all that can be done.
For the houses of Allah, where we gather to pray. If your heart is attached, under Allah's shade you will stay.
On a day with no other shade, so let us work to see the throne above.
May Allah bless you all. Support Masjied Love.
So that's some of our respected ulama in the Western Cape, letting you know exactly a little more about Masjied Love and how we as a community can get involved and assist. And we'll give you some information a bit later in the program as well. But in studio, we have Brother Faghrie and Sister Gadija Cornelius for taking the time to come and chat to us as well. And from all of us at Hilaal TV, we want to say a big shukran for you and the family and everybody who's contributed and started this wonderful organization. Before the break, we were chatting about the numbers and the contributions that have been made. Would you like to share some of those numbers with us?
Yes, shukran, Luqman. So thanks to our amazing team. You know, these guys, they don't sleep. And they do it, you know, just for the love of it. I mean, there's nobody complains. So thanks to them, in year one, remember we started in the middle of COVID. In year one, we were able to distribute over R1 million,
Wow.
you know, to needy masajid.
100.
In year two, that number, you know, rose to 3.4 million. In year three, 4.5 million. Okay, so a total of 9 million has been dispersed, you know, in the last 3 years.
Amazing.
To a total of 103, you know, masjids. And every now and then we get sidetracked, you know, to tackle a crisis. For example, you will remember the Masjid Huda in Capricorn Park or Capricorn that burnt down a few months ago. So we were able to get involved there and assist them to an extent as well. So the total monthly payouts to masajid, you know, here in the Western Cape is 353,000. That's 52 of our ulama are benefiting in terms of having their salaries, you know, supplemented, and 31 of the caretakers are benefiting, you know, in a similar way. Okay, because we found that we needed to start somewhere. So we looked at the salaries that were, you know, very, very low. And that is why, you know, we decided, you know, to start, you know, in that particular direction. But despite these stats, there's a lot of work to be done. So we've set a target for ourselves of 4.5 million a month. If you look at these numbers, we nearly 10% there. So it's a long way off. But alhamdulillah, it was important to set that target so that at least we achieve something. So we're very happy about that. So, but obviously, like I said, you know, we can't become complacent because the queue of masajid waiting to be assisted, you know, is growing. You know, despite the fact that there's over 100 on the books already. And when we initially embarked on the project, we were told by some ulama, they believe that there's 100 masjids struggling. And now we've got 103 on the books and more is struggling. So it just shows the actual magnitude, you know, of the problem. Just some food for thought, you know, for the listener or for the viewers to reflect on. If you look at the global personal income, that is every working person in the world, the average of that income is 15,000 Rand per month. Okay, so that is from the richest of the rich to the poorest of the poor. If we bring that to South Africa, that number becomes 31,000 Rand. Okay, the average income that any person earns. Would you believe that, you know, if I look at the masajid on our books in the Western Cape, those needy ones, the average salary of an imam there is between 5,000 and 8,000 Rand per month.
Wow.
Which is 3 times, nearly 4 times less than the average income of a South African working in this country at the moment.
So that puts into perspective exactly what the masajids are going through and what our country is going through as well, and the need that is out there. Okay, I got that. I know that you have a very special announcement. Maybe I'm jumping the gun or not, but I know you're excited about this announcement as well. Tell our viewers a bit more.
Okay, so alhamdulillah, every year we have the finishing of the Khatam al-Quran program, and we have about 8 Hafiz schools that recite for us, and then we'll finish it off at an event. And that is the highlight of our year. It's very special and dear, and it also adds barakah and blessings to us, alhamdulillah. So besides this big event for our year, Allah has blessed us this year with something extra.
Okay.
So alhamdulillah, we've been gifted with 2 Umrah packages for 2 of our ulama.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Beautiful.
And we had to go. We've got 52 ulama on our books. We've become very close with all our ulama in the Western Cape. And we had to go through a very rigorous and emotional process to select the 2 ulama. So, alhamdulillah, unfortunately, if we had our way, we would choose everyone.
Of course,
but
definitely.
Unfortunately, we obviously looked at ones that haven't been on Hajj or Umrah. And alhamdulillah, we're very excited to announce that we have selected Imam Niaz Isaacs, and he's from Masjied Juma in Delft. And then Maulana Qiyam Sambamba, and he is from Islamia Masjied in Kafta. That's our retreat where alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, they must be, do they know about this?
They do know. They're leaving 3 days after our anniversary, so they're leaving next week, inshallah. So our big event is on Sunday, and they'll be leaving on Wednesday. So they're also going to be greeting there, because we're inviting our ummah for the finishing of the Khatams. and we're catering for 1,000 people, so they will be greeting, inshallah, and you can come meet and greet them. But look, man, what was so special? We obviously, it wasn't just our decision, like our committee. We've also reached out to the community, to the committees and that. But when we came to our first imam, they didn't know we were coming. We were going to meet with the committee.
Okay, right.
And he thought we were there for the committee. And we made Maghrib Salah, and he was reading out after Maghrib a card of one of the committee members that was going to Umrah.
Right.
And then he started speaking about Umrah. And you must know, he's talking to the Musallis in Delft. And he's saying, even if you have a little money, put it together and you must spend in the path of Allah and go. May Allah grant us all to Umrah, not knowing, but he was so passionate, not knowing that he was going to be called in a few minutes' time.
Amazing.
It was so special. When we got to the other masjid in Kafta, okay, that Imam couldn't speak to us. He just cried. But the committee member said to us, he said, you don't realize the impact you're having not only on this imam, but also on the community, because they see this as their imam, and Allah has chosen their imam. Out of everyone in Cape Town, their imam is going. It's going to make that community feel
absolutely
so special.
And he can now resonate his experience with all his lessons and the talks that he gives at the masjid, because now he can collate the two together, and it will meet so much more as well. So well deserved, and shukran for that. I mean, he must be so excited. The community must be so excited. The event, the annual program, that is happening when, Brother Faghrie?
24th of September. So that is Sunday coming, inshallah.
This Sunday coming, inshallah.
And it's going to be at the Darul Islam Hall in Surrey Estate.
Surrey Estate.
Not the masjid. At the hall.
The hall, got it. How many people are you catering for or anticipating?
Give or take 1,000 people, inshallah. But we're trying our best to be prepared.
And the program itself, take us through very quickly what happens on the day.
So we're going to be obviously commence with an open dua, and then we're going to finish or do a dhikr. We're going to read the last few surahs of Surah Amma, of Juz Amma, and that will take us into the dhikr, inshallah. And then from there, we're going to ask our vice chair, Imam Shamil Basadin, to give a brief talk. And then I think Gadija would
say a few words as well.
So that will take us up to Dhuhr. And then after Dhuhr, we'll serve lunch, inshallah. And then Fusion in Emeko has arranged some nasheed groups for us. So while we have lunch and dessert, inshallah.
You guys are working with the right people. That's all I can say. When organizations like, Fusion and yourself and Sansa all collates and it makes such a big impact. Because ultimately you guys work on the ground, you see the need as well. So Jazakallah once again. Very quickly, if you would like to give our viewers some of the information on how they can get hold of you and assist with some of your projects.
Okay, Faghrie, you wanna?
Or Faghrie.
Yes. So they can contact one of our consultants. Our telephone number 060-961-3005. That is Halima. And 065-622-4372. That is Suraya. Or they can email Halima, that is GILEEMAH @masjidlove.co.za, or they can email Suraya, SORAYA @masjidlove.co.za. We're also on Instagram, and the Instagram handle, I understand, is masjidlove_ZA.
Brilliant.
And we accept Sadaqah and Zakah. And the website is available for donors to go and sign up with a debit order there as well.
Brilliant.
Or they can reach out to us and we can plug them in, inshallah.
Brother Faghrie, Sister Gadija, Jazakallah once again for coming into studio, sharing your amazing journey. We'd love to have you guys back and share some more amazing experiences and the work that you do as well. All the very best with your event, and Jazakallah once again for the 2 Umrah packages that you've arranged. All the best.
Jazakallah khair. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
And that's Masjid Love in studio, sharing wonderful news about 2 ulama that will be heading off to Umrah, inshallah, very, very soon. From the Cape Town team, Sohail Barnes and myself, Luqman Shadrack, we now hand over to the Johannesburg team, Faraz Patel, and the team in Johannesburg to take you through until about 7:30, inshallah. All the best. Assalamu alaikum.